Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Thursday, August 14th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread? We got 3 cards coming out today. We're going to read all of them because that's what we do. First card we're reading in the first position. We've got here Ace of Swords in its reversal in combination with our 3 of Pentacles in its upright. That is some intense energy. This is like Sword in the Stone. Do you see this? This is Sword in the Stone energy here. Nothing is impossible with a little elbow grease, is what I keep on seeing. Nothing is impossible with that a little elbow grease can't fix. But I need to say this. I feel like this is the remnants. You remember how I said I felt like the Mercury retrograde was actually helping us? Like with all of these planets in retrograde right now, I actually feel like Mercury retrograde was actually doing us a bit of a benefit while it was in retrograde, because this is just your daily reminder that Mercury retrogrades are not here to break your toaster oven. They're here to help us identify the difference between a groove and a rut, right? And unfortunately, just the way it works, sometimes we can't tell the difference between a pattern that we're going through that we get so used to that isn't energetically serving us versus something that we can innovate upon until what? Until something crimps up on us, right? Until something gets jammed up or something gets frustrating. But one of the things we're also seeing right now that's like escalating, and that's why I keep on saying, if you've been feeling like the vibes have not been immaculate yesterday, like over the last few weeks, has nothing to do with the Mercury retrograde. It does have to do with the fact that we got Saturn and Neptune retrograding together. A lot of the work in terms of if you're having a hard time not focusing on the past right now, that would probably be why. If you're like, why does my mind keep going back there? It's like because you got those planets that are just retrograding down into that. And Neptune and Saturn are we got the memory bank in time, right? The things that we have to remember, the things that we carry forward. We also have the fact that Chiron and Eris are retrograding together, which is often feeling really hard on the self in relationality to one's own messiness, right? What does a Mercury retrograde say to us as we're going through those energies? Have you tried while retrograding in Leo? Have you tried putting a little compassion on it? Have you tried putting a little compassion on it? Have you tried putting a little compassion on the self? Have you tried putting a little compassion on the situation? But remembering, compassion is not niceness. Compassion is courtesy. And that's either the compassion that is directed to the self or the compassion that we have in relationality to what is energetically a possible, but beyond what is overly energetically giving. And that's why I'm going to tell you right now, with the clarification between the 3 of Pentacles in its upright with the Ace of Swords in its reversal, in combination with the 7 of Swords in its reversal, right? This is like, from this angle, that looks a whole lot different. It's like, what happens, and this is what we talk about when we're going through Saturn lessons, because, here's the thing about it. Saturn doesn't fix anything. Saturn doesn't say to us, if you come with me, I'll make this go away. Saturn says, if you come with me, I'll give you something that you might not have in this situation right now. I'm going to give you some perspective. I'm going to give you a little perspective. And that's why I see that I'm keep on seeing, this is the energy of closing out of unhealthy energetic cycles, but also fundamental new beginnings. Why are we articulating the fact that the energy right now in separation is working through temperance lessons? What is the message that we get with temperance relationships? Everything is possible, but only if the work is mutual. Because when we apply mutual effort to things, the sky is the limit. But this is also potentially the observation of the limitation of energetic cycles that was requiring one individual to do all of the heavy lifting, right? The ability of navigating through that energetic burden, working through the space by which one recognizes and identifies what feels like it creates a healthy sense of balance. So, what are we seeing that's happening right now for a lot of these energies in separation? We got a couple of different modalities that are occurring here. Now, in some of these experiences that we're identifying at this time, I'm just recognizing that these are circumstances or situations wherein an individual, and this is what I keep on saying, if these are situations where there was some kind of separation and another person walked away from something instead of fixing something, and then tries to energetically return and say, is it fixed yet? Right? Remember when I said rude awakenings? It's understanding the discourtesy in moving away from something because one doesn't feel like one wants to be bothered by it, and then energetically returning to see if the problem is still there. That is not an energy that is working towards energetically resolving something, but hoping that time will dissolve a problem or dissolve a standard. And that's why I keep on hearing a lot of these relationships are very much in no pining mode, because I keep on hearing you don't fix a relationship by trying to add missing to it. That when you try to add missing to a situation instead of fixing something, that is akin to just hoping that someone will become energetically desperate enough to want to endure or navigate something. And that's why I keep on hearing that for a lot of these relationships, like that is like, I keep on hearing the energy that almost like in that perspective feels like the absolute energetic fundamental closure upon something, with the recognition of the difference between what someone wants to energetically fix versus what one is waiting to see if another person is ready to energetically endure. At the same time, I see new relationships that are starting in this energy. And that's why I keep on seeing that the relationships that are starting in this energy are so fundamental. The observation and the identification point in being able to see and identify what it feels like to have that mutual effort that one adds to something. It is the context by which anything becomes energetically possible. It is being able to see the full shape of something, being able to recognize and identify what that work is. And that's why I keep on seeing that if these are situations where not only are they doing that work, but at the same time, something from the past emerges back to them, an unhealthy relationship dynamic. This is almost the energy that predicated that such an experience would occur. They almost foresaw it. They almost recognized that it would, I told you, like this was energy that was almost like, look at this, like this here, you could set a watch to it. Like that's what they're going. They're going right on time. Like that is what we see. It's going right on time. It's just like, it's like the immediacy of it. And this is what I keep on seeing is potentially allowing, and I keep on hearing, these are the relationships that are forged. Remember, when I kept on saying there's a lot of forging that's happening right now? They're being forged in the fires of mutual audacity in relationality to an energetic rude awakening, which is the space by which another person hopes to come back to something, not in the space of being able to bring and applicate an applied effort to it, but hoping that the problem has dissolved, is what I keep on seeing. But that's why I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, this could be a frustrating time, but it can also be very affirming in relationality to understanding and recognizing what it is that one is working on, or healing from. Now, center of the spread, to talk about the energy coming into divine union, there's that judgment card. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy right now, working through these judgment, there's something that's very important right now that's happening for the energy deep within divine union in relationality to chirality. And why do we keep on talking about chirality this week? It was coming up very heavily because a situation of energetic chirality is working through something that one was wounded by. and being able to experience it in a way that helps you heal the wound, because you're able to recognize the nuanced difference between what another person identified as not hurting versus understanding why it energetically hurt. And one of the reasons I'm seeing this right now is that for some of the energy moving deeper into divine union, there is energy right now that has absolute conviction in the space of feeling like they are in the right energetic connection. They're feeling that force of mutual appreciation. That's the context by which we can create. Now, in the same way, we are identifying that for a lot of those energies right now, there's almost this quality or nature of teasing that's entering into the partnership. But the reason that they're teasing each other is because there's so much assurance and relationality to the direction that the relationship is going. There's so much clarity that the ability to tease that it's not. It's almost like the playfulness, and it is a reminder to the energy that we only tease upon things that we know are self-evident, right? The only way that a teasing is playful is when we tease upon something that we know is silly to tease upon, because it's absurd to even suggest such a thing. That is the only context by which teasing is playful. Now, if these are energies that we're healing from situations or relationships that were causing wounds because there was no clarity on the direction of the relationship, but rather someone was withholding the direction of the relationship, looking for potential to change in the energy within the partnership, there's a lot of that energy that is building into the context of understanding that if someone in the past said, I'm just teasing you, the understanding that we don't tease when we're trying to change behavior, but often someone will try to articulate their teasing to try to diminish the wound that they're energetically causing as they're hurting us. So this is why I see that for a lot of the energy right now, not only may this be a time that there are timelines that are advancing for energy deep within divine union, but simultaneously, we see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, observing and recognizing, I keep on hearing like having that that strange deja vu moment of recalling someone that tried to articulate they were doing that, but being able to notice the vast nuanced difference between someone like teasing something that they have every intention of providing versus someone withholding and saying, why can't you take a joke? Like, this is the energy that is understanding and healing in a much deeper way via virtuality, but also finding harmony within it. Continuing to get clarification right now, fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for those who are within divine union. We've got here the Temperance card and the 3 of Wands. There's a lot of prospecting energy is what I'm seeing right now for the energy deep within divine union. And I feel like the thing about it is, and I want to talk about like the space by which we articulate upon the energetic prospect. The prospect is either within the self or in relationality to what one is trying to work upon. I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy right now, remember how I said that this energy right now, it's just to show you that qualitatively there's no place to be better or worse on the frequency cycles. This is helping to fortify the direction sense. These are temperance lessons, as we talked about. They're helping to fortify the energetic direction of what feels like it's energetically restorative versus something that one is better off without. While for a lot of the energy right now, that is working through a lot of those energetic lessons, the identification point, the adaptability, the recognition, as it were, of being able to find that clarity, it's not really as needed for energy that's deep within divine union. You'll recall that a lot of these relationships, the most recent that we saw moving into divine union were those chariot partnerships, right? They were coming together between the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune up until the time that Mars stationed direct. They were predicating upon the reliability of the relationship that was able to find that point of consistency. It's not like that pressure is and in fact, I want to say it may be feeling like putting too much pressure on the self, or feeling a lot of external pressure, if you will. If you're feeling like this, I would say focus on your manifestation goals Everything can be done in the context of time and prioritization. So don't feel like, again, don't rush through things. Take your time. We're in the middle of a bunch of retrograde cycles, measure twice, cut once kind of energy. But I also think it's something very important in relationality to understanding that the way that we become comprehensive when we are working on expanding. And when we're working on expanding, it is very typical to feel vulnerable because the space of expanding is a lot of that part in our appearance energy. It's working, it's like working, learning how to do something in a different way, having a different perspective upon things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of conversations that are happening right now deep within Divine Union as it relates to like what I keep on hearing, what that blueprint is, what one is trying to create for the self, or what one is trying to create in partnership. Now let's continue to get clarification on these cards. Clarification between, I'm sorry, I'm just keep showing this. And again, for those who are on the podcast, who are listening to the podcast, make sure that you pop over to our Substack so you can see the spread today, because I am absolutely living. I am absolutely living for Three of Pentacles with Ace of Swords in its reversal, because this is just Sword in the Stone energy. This is Sword in the Stone energy. I adore it. And our seven of swords in its reversal. Can I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with, okay, we've got a lot of 7 energy out today. We had a lot of 7 energy out yesterday too, if you recall. We've got the 7 of Wands in its upright. Now let's talk about this for like this is the retrograde energy. And that's what I mean. Like, I know, I'm going to tell you right now, if you are feeling more on edge, if you are feeling out of spoons, if you are feeling really temperamental, I would just like to give you your daily reminder that we got a ton of planets that are retrograding right now in Aries. That is hair trigger energy. Okay? That is feeling super sensitive. And I'm warning all of you about this right now because I wish I could tell you that this energy is going to ease up. My babes, we got a Pisces full moon coming up. An eclipse. It's going to be fine, but I want you to strap in, okay? I want you to strap in. I need you to be working on this right now, okay? Because if this energy, and I am not saying this to create energetic anxiety, okay? I am not saying this to try to make anyone anxious. But what I am saying is I want you to be very conscientious in working through positive ways. I'm going to write this in the sky, okay? I'm going to write this in the sky, okay? Positive ways of navigating through frustration, okay? And that doesn't mean, and here's the thing about it, and this is the thing about frustration, that does not mean you have to pretend that everything is copacetic all the time. That doesn't mean, okay? All right, disassociation is not healthy, okay? I don't want to hear you being like, it's fine. I don't want to hear you coming to me being like, it's fine. I'm just not letting myself feel anything. I just went I just completely just absorbed the Aquarian full moon. I am a robot now. Don't you dare. That's cheating. Disassociating from your emotions is not feeling them. Non-attachment and disassociation, the way you're going to be able to tell the difference, okay? When you're disassociating, you're letting yourself go numb. You're not letting yourself feel anything. You don't care about anything. No. Non-attachment is stepping back to feel the enormity of what one feels, to be able to navigate with a what? A sense of perspective. So if you're feeling, and that's why I keep on telling you guys right now, do not come to a reading right now. All right? I'll take the reading, but I'm going to give it to you. All right? Don't come to a reading and say to me, I assumed something was happening, and I assumed the worst, and that wasn't what was happening. Okay? Because this type of energy is really good, is really easy to make big assumptions off faulty perspectives. So before you make a determination point, make sure that you're working in the context of having that sense of perspective. And that's not me saying that there isn't something that you're experiencing that allows for the context of navigating through frustration. But this is how do we fortify our frustration? With perspective. And this is what we see is happening right now for the energies across the frequencies. What did I say is happening for a lot of, I keep on hearing, what is the clarion call of a lot of these new relationships that are forming in the context of the circumstances that I'm articulating? Ready? You have a right to be upset. That's what I keep on hearing. You have a right to be upset. It's the conscientious understanding of working through something and expressing the frustration to counterpart, these new relationships, articulating upon those frustrations. And what are they having? Mutual perspective of audacity. You have a right to be upset. That would bother me too, right? The articulation of feeling energetically reaffirmed. If these are energies that have started to come to know each other and something's happening and one of them predicated that it would occur. One of them said, look at this, I told you. You could set a watch to it. The energy's going. The energy's going, it's the energy that says you've got, it's reaffirming our energetic judgment, or the feeling of, again, working through that. And this is the thing about it. When we're espousing good judgment, it feels really hard, right? I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't feel indulgent. It doesn't feel indulgent. It can feel frustrating. But this is why I keep on seeing that frustration is energetically shoring up a lot of these new relationships that are coming together, because they are mutually frustrated for each other. And I'm telling you right now, some of these new relationships that are forming, they've entered that beautiful time of sharing each other's frustrations, right? Moving deeper into divine union, a lot of the energy right now, a lot of potential frustration coming up. Because I keep on seeing that feeling, right? Like that recognition point, clarification between our Seven of Swords in its reversal and the Judgment card. Yep, going through those experiences of chirality, working through something. I told you what keeps on happening with these energetic relationships, these magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury, the solstice period, up until the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune. A lot of these relationships were built upon mutual appreciation, the ability to be energetically seen, not feeling like another person was constantly judging them and trying to articulate that they weren't living up to their full potential. And that's why I keep on hearing that there's something very fundamental that's happening in a lot of these relationships. And it may be feeling like I keep on hearing like a lot of frustration that may be being released or let go of, potentially and especially in the context of being too hard on the self. If these were situations wherein energy was experiencing, or in a relationship where someone was articulating or saying, holding something away from them and saying like, you're not ready for it yet, like the context by which another person, like I keep on hearing the difference between someone that teases something playfully versus someone that dangles something conditionally. was the difference. You'll have to understand these are relationships that are about to advance timelines because they don't see any need to wait upon what they know that what the inevitable point is of the relationship going forward. They're almost teasing each other with the fact that they're considering it because they know it is so sure. In the same moment, they're healing from experiences or circumstances where another person held that energetic arrival point away and almost like would only display it to talk about how far away it is. Like almost in the space of saying, oh, well, you're clearly not ready for this yet. Or you're clearly not, we're never going to get there if you're acting like this. Or, well, you're never going to get anything from me if you're talking that way. The understanding that when another person holds something away, right, that's not a manifestation, that's a condition. So they're working through the understanding that conditions are not manifestations. Manifestations are manifestations. They're things that we actively work upon. They're not built upon or based upon energetic conditions. So that's why I keep on feeling like for a lot of the energy working through that, it's a lot because that may be a lot of the energy releasing the guilt that they may have been holding within their own self in the feeling of feeling the anticipation of identifying something and saying, if only I'd been a little better, right? The energy that was saying, if only I'd been a little better is saying, I don't think that was ever going to get better. That wasn't about the betterment of the self. That was a situation. The relationship was one that would always articulate and say, you can do better, right? Continuing to get clarification between our Judgment card and the Temperance card. For the energy deep within divine union right now, we've got here the Page of Pentacles. And I like to see the Page of Pentacles here because what we're effectively identifying with the Page of Pentacles is, I keep on getting, it's working through the recognition of identifying and having and articulating upon the shape of things, right? And I keep on hearing like this is a time right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, refining the manifestation goals, if you will, articulating through something, giving someone, like I keep on hearing, like talking to each other about ideas, working something out, thinking about something in a holistic fashion. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that ability of being energetically adaptable is also bringing a lot of that pragmatism to circumstances and situations, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, the identification point that I keep on seeing is working through, I keep on hearing when things feel stagnant, we become energetically comprehensive, which is the space by which we address. I keep on hearing we find the things that are like we're working on, and we're able to define and articulate upon them even further. So I feel like this is a lot of that energy deep within divine union, like working in or upon the context of nuance. And again, I feel like having those like nuanced conversations, if you will, that almost allow for new possibilities or new ideas to emerge. This brings us to the Temperance card in combination with our Three of Wands in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Ooh, we've got the Devil card here. It's the retrograde. I don't want you to cool. Listen to me. I don't want you to get all nice and easy, feeling like, okay, good. Mercury's not in retrograde anymore. I say this every retrograde season. Mercury is not the source of all of your problems. Okay? Mercury is not the source of your problems. Okay? And I would also say that because the fact that Mercury was retrograding in Leo and having that moment of saying, have you allowed for a little compassion in that situation, right? Having those modalities or those experiences wherein we articulate to another via what it is we feel is energetically possible. I just keep on identifying that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that ability of being that ability of being adaptable. I feel like the beautiful thing that I keep on seeing is, and I keep on hearing this, is like the most important vector or facet of a lot of these temperance relationships is the gift that we provide each other in the feeling of not wasting one another's time, right? And when we have clear manifestation goals, this is the gift that we give to one another, right? Because I keep on hearing, it's the identification point in being able to recognize and identify a healthy energetic direction. Now, one of the things that we see is very interesting is if these are relationships, I feel like there's a lot of energy right now in separation that is healing from the difference between someone that articulates a manifestation goal versus someone that is showing the ability to energetically embody it. Now, what is the difference between an articulated manifestation goal and the embodiment of it? It's easy to say you want a healthy partnership, right? But if you don't embody the qualities and characteristics that are required in order to maintain one, then it's often easy to say, why can't I find one? Instead of saying, what am I doing? What could I be doing differently? Right? It's like, you need the context of being able to embody it. And this is why we keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, doing this work effectively, that ability of working through the frustration together. I keep on hearing this is the energy there. I keep on hearing I'm sick of it in healthy partnership. There's no walking away, if you will. I keep on hearing there's something that keeps on happening for the energy and separation, which I keep on hearing there's no recess in a relationship, which is the space by which we take things energetically seriously. And we don't need to come up for air in what is our energetic reality, right? And if something feels like it's energetically intense, we work through it. And that's what creates the stabilization in relationship. Because often there are those that say, oh, I just need to go away and then I'll come back and the relationship will be there, right? No, it won't. What are you talking about? No, that is the definition of a relationship. You guys are in a relationship right now. It just goes in and out and in and out. You're doing the freestyle. You know what I mean? You're doing the energetic freestyle. And then but there's that is the shape of the relationship, right? It's not different. It's the shape of it. And so what we effectively see is there's something that's happening right now for a lot of the energy and I keep on hearing the beauty of working in the context of the self, and especially when we're not reactive, we get energetically observant. When we observe and not absorb, we start seeing things with more clarity. And so I keep on getting, right, what effectively happened in some of these partnerships. And some of these partnerships, I keep on hearing somebody moved away from something expecting that would dissolve the problem. But what happens, and this is often why sometimes these situations trigger a spiritual awakening, somebody else proceeded forward towards their manifestation goal and started to energetically flourish, right? Because when we're in separation and we're not pining, we start to prioritize our manifestation goals. We start to heal and move in positive directions. We don't say, why isn't it here? We say, I guess I'll go looking for it, right? We identify and recognize that we're working towards those things. And that's why I keep on seeing what's interesting about this is while this retrograde, right? While this retrograde can feel very energetically heavy, I see a lot of the energy and separation taking that to be productive, right? Moving it away. I keep on hearing the quietude of a library is a place where you're energetically working, right? It's working through the space of feeling energetically at peace within our space of solitude. So I keep on hearing there's a lot of energy that's holding themselves sacredly. And when we start to hold ourselves sacredly, we don't look for places to kill time. We look towards what feels like it's energetically in accordance to us. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, if another person then tries to come back towards them and say, are you done? Are you done with those pesky standards? Are you done with that? Are you done with that argument that we were having? Is it gone now? Can we proceed? The energy is saying those were not, those are not pesky. They're not pesky if they're standards. Standards are not pesky. They're things that we hold for each other, not nuisances that we try to knock out of the way by creating energetic distance, hoping for desperation to set in. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy, I can almost see some energy that's coming back towards someone in the heart of this retrograde being like, aren't you glad to see me? And someone saying, well, you got a lot of nerve. You got a lot, like, look at this. You got a lot of nerve showing your face here. It's like you might have got a lot of nerve. Meanwhile, at the same time, we've got a lot of these new relationships that are forming in this context. But what is happening in these relationships? Again, the ability to identify and recognize, putting that mutual work with someone that is similarly invested in that same space, right? The mutual effort. And that is, and that's why, again, if these are the energies that have been showing each other what mutual effort looks like, and then all of a sudden here comes the disappearing act, right? This is the energy that says, what are they, this is the relationship that is coming together, and cue the music. And what is the music of this relationship? You have a right to be upset. That is energetically ridiculous. Right? The observation, and again, this is Saturn, because that's what Saturn says. Saturn says, my job is not a repairman. I'm not here to fix things. Saturn is a guide. Saturn says, I can't take that away from you, but if you come with me a little bit down the way, I'll give you something that you don't have right now. I assure you, I can give you some perspective. Continuing to get clarification for the energy moving deeper into divine union. Clarification between our Seven of Wands in its upright in combination with our Ace of Wands in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Cups in its reversal. So what are we effectively seeing that's occurring right now for a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union? For a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now, we're observing that for a lot of that energy, this is, I keep on seeing the profound understanding of the difference in the space of a relationship. And I keep on hearing the messages coming through is we only tease each other on things that are true, right? We tease upon the only place by which we tease. The idea of teasing is the back note of that song is, I would never do that to you, right? We don't tease. We tease upon things that we are, I keep on hearing we tease upon things that are doomed to come true, which is the space by which we tease upon something that there's every single assurance that it's going to happen. And that's why we can tease upon it, right? Because it's the space by which we can identify the assurance by which we're going to give something to another that we can play in that space. But that's why I keep on hearing that there's some energy that's like, not only are they advancing timelines and not only are they teasing one another upon that, but they're also healing in a massive way, recalling, like I keep on hearing, like being rocked, almost having the memory of another person that tried to articulate the fact that they were teasing them. Articulating, trying to say, I was just joking. Why can't you take a joke, right? Someone who is being energetically cruel and trying to couch their cruelty as teasing, because another will try to put conditions on things and then try to pretend that they're being playful, but what they're really doing is causing harm by creating fear in us in relationality to the energetic direction that something is moving towards. So I just keep on seeing a lot of that profound healing that's happening as that energy is moving deeper into harmony, because they're able to see the difference between two things, that's chirality, two things that look very similar but are wildly, wildly different. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Page of Pentacles in its upright. We've got here our Six of Pentacles in its reversal. For the energy deep within divine union right now, I keep on getting the same, like it's working through the same frustrations. A lot of this energy that we're recognizing here, I keep on seeing this. This type of energy, I'm just going to tell you, it's grating. It's grating. It's feeling like it's either things are moving too fast or things are moving too slow. It's like, it feels like, I'm going to tell you, with all of these planets in retrograde, it can feel like it's doing wonky things to clocks or timelines. So some things could feel like they're very stagnant. Some things can be feeling like they're moving like too fast. I'm going to say it again. Make sure that you're not assuming things, and make sure, I keep on hearing, like allowing the manifestation goals to guide you, even through energetic frustration. I keep on seeing like there's a lot of this space by which there's a lot of productivity to be had, and a lot of that productivity is the identification or the recognition of being able to articulate and identify what we are energetically working upon, right? And I feel like there's something beautiful about that, because and this is the only thing I'm going to say. If you are feeling some of that energetic exhaustion right now in the space of this retrograde, remember, just give everybody the compassion that they may be feeling it too. Like in the club, we are all in the retrograde. Continuing to get clarification between the Page of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Devil card in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Yeah, we've got here the Two of Cups in its reversal. Now, what are we seeing with the Two of Cups in its reversal? So for a lot of the energy right now that is deep within divine union, we're gonna work through all of this. It's understanding and recognizing what it, like I keep on hearing, there's a lot of recognition that remember, when we're doing temperance lessons, everything is about harmony. And the thing I need to point out, and we were actually talking about this heavily in yesterday's Tower class. When we're going through something that feels energetically disruptive, we don't work towards the context of matching energy. We bring to situations what we energetically feel that they need, right? And I keep on seeing like that, to a certain extent, is what feels like it is so productive right now for a lot of the energy that's deep within divine union. I keep on hearing it's being able to take one another's temperature, but then being able to, I keep on saying, taking one another's temperature, but also being able to feel, I keep on hearing like feeling that energetic stabilization point in relationality to what one feels aligned upon is all I keep on seeing. There's a bit of this energy here. And I think that's what's so beautiful, that we're identifying for the energy deep within divine union. I almost hear the energy that is learning. Like, and this is what's happening for some of those chariot relationships, because you'll recall that some of those chariot relationships that were forming at the beginning of the year, there's a lot of that self-starter energy. That's why we were calling them chariot partnerships, right? Because they're very good at bringing that sense of stability to things. It's a lot of that what do you need kind of mentality. So what we're effectively seeing is what is the energy right now having to work through within divine, deep within divine union, the ability to articulate on their needs in order to have them met. It's nice to be energetically appreciated is what I keep on hearing. So the space by which we're learning to articulate upon our needs, that is what I keep on seeing is happening right now. For a lot of that energy deep within divine union, they're working on the ability to talk something out in order to become more energetically comprehensive. Now, this brings us back to the energy in separation right now. Clarification between our Knight of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Six of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got here our Sun card in its upright. So Man, I'm going to tell you right now. I have not, it has been quite some time. I've got, I've got some energy right now in separation that is so frustrated, but also like I see the energy like frustrated, but with a smile on their face. I see the energy like in separation, but with a smile on their face, because I'm almost identifying the energy that is articulating or identifying something that feels like the frustration is not the frustration of confusion. It's the frustration in relationality to clarity. It's feeling frustrated, but also feeling fortified in the frustration. You'll remember, you got to stress this. Trauma is created when we feel frustration with confusion. When we feel frustration and we don't have clarity as to what we're energetically frustrated about, this can often create trauma. It's the unknowing that often creates the energetic wound. But that's why, like, I see the energy right now, like frustrated, but with the smile on your face is the audacity, because the audacity is understanding. Is you can hear what the problem is. You can hear what the problem is. You're like, here's the problem. I have found the problem. I am frustrated by the problem. But situations like that aren't traumatizing because we're furious about it, because we can see what the energetic problem is what I keep on seeing. So I can see the energy that's like they're frustrated because they can recognize that they're not the energetic problem. Is what I keep on getting. That there's some relief here is what I'm seeing. It's like it's giving me some kind of relief that's happening for the energy in separation, because it's the energy that says I'm frustrated, but I'm frustrated because I'm not, like, it's the energy going, it's not my frustration. It's not my frustration. It's not something that I could be doing better. It's something I'm having to navigate, is what I keep on seeing. And so that's why I feel like there's a lot of that energy that like works through something in that way. But just like, you know what I mean? Like power, like when we are able to move, like when we're able to work through something like that, we power through it. There's some energy right now. I'm going to tell you some energy in separation, powering through the retrograde. But the word that we want to focus on is powering through, is not crashing out. Okay. Powering through is not crashing out. Powering through is just like, you know what I mean? Like, just like you feel a little bit of those like gears grinding, but you just continue forward to a certain extent. So we feel like there's a lot of the space that we're identifying that is energetically occurring. Now, let's get talking towards, and again, for some of these new relationships, what am I hearing? They're talking to each other. They're communicating upon those frustrations. And what are they hearing that is music to their ears? You have a right to be upset. The ability to be able, like, we often build alignment in holding frustration together, right? Because that's what happens, right? When we communicate our frustration to one another, and it's not something that we're not creating each other's frustration. It's a lot of, here, let me help you hold that. No, I'm carrying it too. You know what I mean? I'm carrying it too. We can all hold it together, you know? Now, continuing to get clarification for some energy moving deeper into divine union. What are we seeing for a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now? Clarification between our Six of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our Two of Cups in its reversal. We've got that Eight of Cups in its reversal. So, as if I would ever, is what I keep on hearing. This is what I meant about, like, this is the energy. I keep on hearing there's a little bit of this like playful teasing vibration I'm getting right now for the energy moving deeper in divine union. Right? It is the playfulness by which one says, as if I would ever do that to you. That's what's so beautiful about this. Right? It is the understanding of sentiment that almost, I keep on hearing, they know each other so completely, they almost tease each other upon the past, because it's the energy that articulates upon something. And in the and what are they saying to each other in the background? As if I would ever, as if I would ever dare to do such a thing. Right? It is the space by which I keep on hearing we earn, when we care about each other completely, we earn the right to tease upon each other upon things. And this is why, like, this is what we talk about in relationality to building upon the heart of intimacy. That when we know each other completely, we can tease upon things because we say to one another, as if I could ever, as if that's ever something that you could ever find within me, as if as if I could ever even find a way that would be capable to be able to embody or to bring that forth. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's so much of this. There's almost like, I want to say, to a certain extent, like, I keep on hearing, it's the teasing that becomes the grieving, because in the space that they tease one another, they're reassuring one another and saying, rest assured, I would never do that to you. Rest assured, there's never a context by which I would ever hurt you, which is why I can be energetically playful. And at the same time, this is the energy that's healing tremendously from someone, I keep on hearing, someone that was just brutalizing them, potentially over and over and over again. And then when another person expressed the wound, would say, I was just joking. Why are you being so sensitive? Like the space by which, by the cruelty that was occurring is someone who is holding something away from someone and saying, you'll never get anything like that. The understanding of the teasing that feels like it is fortifying because it's another person that says, I know and love you completely, versus the space by which another person is exerting cruelty and trying to hide it in the guise of teasing by saying, why can't you take a joke? Why are you so energetically sensitive? And even in that context, adding insult to the wound, right? It's like the double kick. Like, not only have I hurt you, but then I'm also going to kick you by saying the fact that you're hurt is something I can mock you for. Final card, but that's why I keep on hearing, like, this energy. Like what they're really saying is they're articulating upon the safety of the sanctuary of the relationship. Deep within divine union, this is why we see with the Sun card in its upright in combination with our Eight of Cups in its reversal. Final card for today's spread. Boom. Magician energy. So I'm going to say this again, like, and what's interesting about this is how it applies to the energy coming into divine union. You'll recall how for a lot of the energy coming into divine union, that those magician partnerships, the ability to be held and seen in the authentic embrace that says that the healthiness of the relationship isn't building into the potential of change that we see in another, but feeling fully welcomed. There's a lot of this energy. I almost see, like, I keep on seeing, this is energy that is changing their own aspirations, right? This is the beauty of healthy partnership, because they're understanding that the true power of change, the change within us that is transformative, is not found with someone that says, you're disappointing me all the time, but the energy that says, I love you just the way you are. Because isn't it an incredible thing that when someone cares about you, that's a moment that you aspire to do greater, right? Because it's the ability to share the bliss, to amplify the joy. It becomes resplendent energy. So this is a lot of the energy that is working in the context of healing, because for the first time, they don't feel like they are failing anyone's expectations. And in that space, they're finally able to start that inner child healing that allows the inner child to go after their dreams. While for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, I feel like this is working through the weight of the retrograde, feeling a little bit of that instability, working on feeling the energetic pressure, and almost feeling, I keep on hearing, feeling a little over capacity, trying to work through something but trying to do the best that they can. But this is why, and I keep on hearing that, especially in relationality to working through, like the energy deep within divine union right now, what I'm really seeing is occurring is starting to do that work in helping or working through. And I'm not surprised to see this because they got the energy of the magician relationships that are pushing up into the energy deep within divine union. What is the energy deep within divine union working on now? When we're feeling we're letting others down too much, it can often be articulating upon a wound on people pleasing, right? So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, right? I almost hear the energy saying to one another, you are not, your value is not conditional on another person's approval. I almost hear that energy saying that to one another, reaffirming it over and over. Your value is not conditional on another person's approval. Your value is intrinsic because you are energetically sacred. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, building into that context, recognizing and identifying it, it doesn't mean that there isn't something that they can be doing in a better way, but it's the energy that's working on not being too hard on the self in the process. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is, this is interesting too, Seven of Cups in its reversal. And to be able to articulate upon the meaning of this card, we have to return back to the first card that we started our reading on. And this is kind of the message I want to leave you guys with as we close today's reading, which is when we get really hard that we're doing something, right? We often get hard that we're doing something in the process of doing it. Like we are actively doing it and we say we can't do it. And everyone around us is saying, but yet you're doing it. And yet there they were. There they stood, doing it at every moment and saying that they could not do it at every single step. It's what I keep on hearing. But that's the space by which you can do something. Because when you do something, you're always caring or worrying about the condition by which you're doing it. You're always trying to do something better. The things that you love will break your heart because you'll constantly be in the space of feeling like in some way, shape, form, or fashion you are failing them. But that is also the force of love. It's one that we constantly look at and we worry upon and say, you know, maybe there's something else I can do. But that is the force of love. So I want you to kind of think about that because, again, we kind of return back to that sword and the stone, right? Which is the ability of love is often trying to accomplish the impossible. It's working into the context that it feels like at every step, there's no way you can energetically achieve it. But yet it's not the way that one pulls the sword out of the stone is not in the arrival of doing so. It is the perseverance by which we put our part upon something, even if it feels impossible, that the impossible becomes reality. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here and receiving it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who attended our class last night on the Tower card. It was such a delight to be able to go through that card with you. If you would like to catch the full recording of that card class, it is now up. You can find it if you are a paid subscriber over on Grace Strega at Substack.com. If our next class is going to be held on Wednesday, August 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies in the tarot with a focus on, I'm so excited for this class, the Star card. If you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is mosey on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 17 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that class. But if you would like to catch up, this is the time to join. You have got an entire month to be able to catch up on those classes. You could take a couple, we got 17 hours. You could do easily a couple of classes each week and you'd be all caught up. And if you become, and also, you'll also, if you become a founding member, have access not only to the full library of the Tarot Church card classes. So if you're a monthly member, you have access to 9 hours. Founding members have full access to the library. But you'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best benefit towards your personal tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as a seasoned reader. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a founding member or a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to my Mystic Meditation articles, which I release bi-monthly to give you an update on the energy we've been experiencing in article form. I'll be releasing one shortly about navigating this new moon we've got coming up. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer as well dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.